Well, has Flipper told you about his loving wife and daughter?
Yes, yes.
Excuse me.
You think I don't understand about the white woman committing black adultery, but I do.
Now, Daddy, no sermons, please.
You see, there was a lot of lynchings down in Willacoochee, Georgia, where I come from, when I was a boy.
Willacoochee, Georgia. What a name.
Coochie.
White man say to his woman, baby, you are the flower of white southern womanhood, too holy and pure to be touched by any man, including me. I'm gonna put you up on a pedestal so the whole world fall down and worship you. And if any nigger so much as look at you, I'll lynch his ass. She believed him, thought she really was holy and pure like the Virgin Mary. She let him put her up on that pedestal. Meanwhile, the husband, no sooner than the sun went down to the slave quarters, grabbing up every piece of black poontang he could lay his hands on, then running to the gin mill to brag about it. And that's how our blood got diluted. Mulattoes, quadroons, octoroons. And I'm sure that most of those high and mighty white ladies felt abandoned, but they were so proud to be white and therefore superior. They kept their mouths shut and their legs locked tight. But in the midnight hour, laying there, alone, on the hot bed of lust, I'm sure they must have thought what it would be like to have one of them big black bucks the husbands were so desperately afraid of. I feel sorry for you. Here it is, the 90s, still trying to make up for what you missed out on. But I don't blame you. As for the black man, like my own son Flipper, who ought to know better, got a loving wife and daughter, still got to fish in the white man's cesspool, I have nothing but contempt. Excuse me.
Dang! Well, dang, tell me how you feel. Huh? You wish you had a father like this if you do not already have one like this. Yeah. Yeah, you wish you had a father like this. And before I pour juice on this, please make sure you like, subscribe, share the content and the information. Going on right on in. Now, there's been a lot of talk and conversation concerning one Spike Lee, the director of this movie, Jungle Fever, a classic. Spike has a few classics, more than a few. He's a couple of classics under his belt. But there's been high chirping and high talking, and we have evidence and receipts where Spike has reached an all-time high level of Coonerian behavior. No, he is not a bigot like Clayton Bigsby. This is not Clayton Bigsby bigotry by Spike. He's been displaying for them. But he's been on another level of sassy Samboing. We're going to put him on notice. Spike, you don't have too many more passes. You don't have too many more passes. Understand? Malcolm X is an all-time great movie. Classic. But you can't keep riding that. And then coming back to the black community in that disgraceful blue uniform that you currently wear. I'm on your heels. I had to just put that out there as a disclaimer before I pour juice on this wonderful movie he did produce, he did direct. It's an all-time classic film. I admit that. Spike, do better. Do the right thing, Spike. Back to Jungle Fever. Family, did you hear what this man just said out his mouth? We're going to replay some of this. Did you just hear what he said out of his mouth? He gave historical context and reference to what was going on in today's times. He made that comparable. He drew that parallel. Got at the adulteress who openly admits she's an adulteress because the wife said, do you know he has a wife and daughter at home? She said, yeah, I know. That's when the mom got up, went to the kitchen and began to pray. That's when she gave that look to the husband right here. The good doctor, the good Dr. Reverend. Ha! Ha! I said the good Dr. Reverend gonna have to give you some lessons today. He gonna have to give you book, chapter, and verse on you. Huh? I said book, chapter, and verse. He's on your heels. He gonna incorporate some history into this lesson for you today. You wish you had a father like this. And let me break this down. Hold on, listen to this. Wait a minute. Hold on, wait a minute. I gotta take my time on. Slow down. We gotta go back. Because, see, men like him, they're not around like that no more today. You hear me now? This movie was taking place in the 1990s. I said 2024. Men like him are not around a whole lot today. These men really knew the Bible. These men really knew their history. And they were able to combine the two just as he did. He said to them, he said, the devil. That's what Ossie Davis said. He said, the good Dr. Reverend. He said, the devil and his cohorts stole my church. He said, the devil and his cohorts and his minions stole my church. And then his son Flipper tried to jump in and say, oh, no. Oh, no, that was all you, Dad. You know how to go. He said, I know the devil's handiwork. That's what the good Dr. Reverend said. He said, I know the devil's handiwork. Meaning I know his timing, his pattern, his rhythm, his season, his reason. His construction, his destruction. I know this nigga's handiwork. He put a disclaimer on that before he began to pour that juice on them. Because he was distraught at their open adulterous affair. And once he got confirmation from his better half, his wife, he said, I'm about to go on in. And what did he say, fam? He broke it down. He said, I saw this before through my historical studies on the plantation. He said, the white man put the white woman on a pedestal. He said, you too beautiful for anybody to touch. But in the meantime, I'm going to go down to the back house, our house, and go grab up that black ass. She accepted that momentarily because she was happy with being esteemed as white. Now, when he broke that down, that's one part. We got to be clear on this now. Bring this back. Shout out to our good white brother. Oh, yeah, we got black and white. Shout out to our good white brother professor. Professor Tim Wise. Yeah. Tim Wise, he was the one who explained to us very clearly where the term white came from. It originated on the plantation. It did not originate in Europe because even today, the European countries, they go by nationality. Germans call themselves Germans, French call themselves French, Belgians call themselves Belgium. However, in America, all those European immigrants that migrated to America, all of them, every person in America essentially is an immigrant, particularly from Europe. All the European immigrants coming to America, they are no longer classified as European. They're now classified as white. And we'll break that down later on in time. But basically, America and its white supremacist doctrine, they monetize whiteness for the European. They demonetize their indigenous black American freedmen population. But let the good Dr. Reverend keep on pouring this good old, oh, goodness gracious. Huh? Now, he said, as she accepted her whiteness, right, she was still left in isolation. She was left, can I keep it real? She was left feeling, oh, me so horny. You know how this game go, dog. On that hotbed of lust, as he says. So now the very men who her man fears, the very men who her man spends so much attention on trying to suppress, she's now looking at that man. And that's how he said a lot of the mixed children of America were birthed. And unlike the other systems of slavery in other parts of the world, let's be clear, there was only chattel slavery here in America. Only chattel slavery here in America, North and South. But in other parts of the world where indentured servitude slave system was in place, you had the families having, fornication, having sex with the oppressed people, and yet they still brought the children in to the household. They got them Christmas gifts, and holiday gifts. They didn't treat them. They didn't say you got to be on the porch. You could actually come into the house with us. They were more welcoming into their quote unquote bastard children, if you will. I don't like that language, but just bear with me, please. Now, this white woman, she's in lust. She's in isolation. She now seeks sexual satisfaction. We talked about this in the man laws. Go back and check my video. The man laws. And don't be discouraged by the fact that I mentioned Jay-Z, but the man laws broke it down. It's real. They said to themselves, the white women can often be seduced by these big black bucks. Real talk. And it's exactly what the good Dr. Reverend is saying, Ossie Davis, as he plays this part in Jungle Fever. So we broke that down. And then so the last part he went at was his son. He hit the history of the plantation swirling from its very existence. He broke down the scriptural sense on how the people were attacking him, how they stole his church. Now, why did they steal the brother's church, family? Why did they steal this man's church? Oh, I know why. Because they were some sassy Sambo raccoons. Sassy Sambo raccoons hate to hear this kind of talk. God today. God today. I said sassy Sambo raccoons. They hate hearing sound doctrine where it can be applicable from the historical sense to today's society. Understand? So he broke all that down and then lastly diverted his attention to his son. This is why I say you wish you had a father like this. If you don't have a father like this, that's why black American men are some of the best fathers, quote unquote, to the CDC. They are the best fathers in America. Okay? Not by JB the Juice Bar, by the CDC, your so-called educational authority. I reference them. Now, he turned to his son and said, what to his son? He said, to my own son, Flipper. Got a beautiful wife and daughter home, yet still has to swim in the white man's cesspool. God, today you got to be more careful. That's why those sassy Sambo raccoons took his church. They probably was up there swirling themselves. I interject. But what he said to his son is so powerful. See, as a young person, and you come in contact with an older person, whether it be your uncle, father, grandfather, you bring something forward. And I'm not talking about the interracial side of it. I'm talking about the adultery side. It does not matter if she was black or white. The ultimate thing is the adultery. The good Dr. Reverend said, just let me give you a little bit of this knowledge before I go, because I don't eat with whoremongers. We're not eating together. Huh? After I give you this juice, I'm going to leave y'all two right here. I don't eat with whoremongers, family. That's his main issue. Let's be clear. So that's why he turned to his son and said, listen, man, you still swimming in the white man's cesspool. You got a wife and daughter at the house. See, that's what a man is supposed to do. I see a young person out of line, out of order. You come into my orbit. You come into my circumference. You come into my radius, into my electromagnetic field of energy. I gotta direct you in the right way. That's my responsibility. That's my job. That's my duty. I can't see you up here about to